Welcome to Narrator's Cut. Today we're going to show you a crime drama movie called The Guilty. Reluctantly assigned to 911 operator duty, a disturbed police detective attempts to save the life of a frightened caller during a horrific day of discoveries and reckonings. Watch out for spoilers and keep an eye on. Officer Joe Baylor of the Los Angeles Police Department is working the night shift at a 911 call center, flooded with calls due to a significant wildfire in the Hollywood Hills. The investigation into an undisclosed event that occurred on the shift 8 months ago continues, and Joe expects to be released from active service following a court hearing on the matter the following morning. Joe is fielding emergency calls while being pursued by a reporter from the Los Angeles Times, seeking a remark on tomorrow's case. Joe got a call from a young woman called Emily Lighton, who is unable to speak openly, but Joe comes to the conclusion that she has been abducted and is in the car with her kidnapper. Joe and his team investigated the situation. He discovers that they are traveling in a white van on the motorway, but the kidnapper notices, and Emily is forced to hang up before she can offer any further information. Joe passes along the information to the CHP, but they cannot find the vehicle since they have so little information. The phone number for Emily's house is dialed, and Joe connects with her little daughter, Abby, who informs him that Emily has been kidnapped by her ex-husband, Henry Fisher. He is successful in obtaining Henry's phone number from Abby, which he then uses to obtain the van's license plate number. He demands that the California Highway Police send a patrol vehicle to check on Abby and her newborn brother, Oliver, as well as a search of Henry's residence. Still, the latter demand is rejected owing to a lack of a research warrant in the case of Henry. After calling Joe's ex-partner Rick, who is now off duty, he requests that he check on Henry's residence. Rick is scheduled to testify in Joe's trial the next day, and he is concerned that things may not go his way in the end. Rick gets into Henry's apartment and discovers a slew of letters and papers. Joe instructs him to begin searching for any information that may be able to assist them in determining where Henry is traveling. Joe also makes a phone call to his former wife and requests to talk with his daughter, but she is sleeping, and his wife tells him to stop calling. Joe gets another phone call from Abby, this time instructing her to open the door for two Los Angeles Police Department officers who are doing a health inspection. It is discovered by the cops that Abby has been covered in blood and that her brother Oliver, who she said was sleeping, has been seriously hurt or is presumed dead. Joe immediately phones Emily back and persuades her to use the handbrake, but the van does not come to a stop as a result. After a while, he speaks to Emily in the vehicle's rear and inquires about Oliver's well-being. Emily confesses that she believes Oliver has snakes in his stomach and that she pulled them out. Henry comes to a complete stop in his car and attempts to take Emily from the backseat, but she strikes him with a stone and flees. In a subsequent phone conversation, Rick informs Joe that he has discovered documents at Henry's residence that pertain to an outpatient mental hospital in San Bernardino, where Emily was once a patient. Joe contacts Henry and tells him that he is returning Emily to the institution since she has been off her medications for several weeks due to lack of funds. Henry is relieved. In response to Joe's question about why he didn't contact the police after Emily assaulted Oliver, Henry reveals that he has lost faith in the system because no one was prepared to assist them previously. Joe inquires as to Emily's whereabouts, where Henry is unable to provide an answer. Emily phones Joe from the top of an overpass, implying that she is about to leap her death since she understands what she has done and regrets it. Joe sends the California Highway Patrol to her location while attempting to coax her down from the ledge. Joe admits that he murdered a guy while on active service in an attempt to divert her attention. When Emily inquires as to why he responds that he doesn't know, he confirms that it was snakes when she examines. Joe informs Emily that her family still cares about her. Emily responds by saying she is going to be with Oliver, and then hangs up the phone. Joe believes that she has slept her death, but the CHP arrives and informs him that she has been brought down safely. He also finds Oliver alive and in a steady state at the hospital, where he had previously assumed. In a follow-up phone contact, Joe urges Rick to speak the truth on the witness stand, knowing full well that he would be sentenced to jail due to his actions. Meanwhile, Joe calls the Los Angeles Times, informing the reporter that he plans to enter a guilty plea to murder at his forthcoming trial. And that's it. Hope you enjoyed, and please leave a comment, like, and subscribe to the channel for more interesting movies to recap. Take care and see you at the next video!